Coming up on Colonial Sports Center, we're talking about the women's basketball team in their NCAA tournament game against the #1 rated Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
And on the side of women's hockey, our very own David Semensky sits down with Maeve Garvey to talk some women's hockey.
All coming up on Colonial Sports Center. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Colonial Sports Center. I am Rashad Christian. Alongside me, filling in for Ian Kist, is Greg Sutton. Greg, how you doing?
Not bad. I know I'm lacking the sweater vest, but I'm hoping to fill his shoes.
Big shoes to fill, actually. We're going to jump right into the men's hockey game against Canisius. Take that away.
All right, so the men's hockey team was in Rochester, New York Friday to play Canisius in the Atlantic Hockey Conference game semifinal against the Canisius Golden Griffins. And the winner would punch their ticket to move on to the final game.
Let's hope Robert Morris got this win.
Well, they did.
They did.
So the Colonials walked away from this matchup with a 6-2 win over Canisius. Brady Ferguson ended the night with a hat trick, one of the goals coming from a power play opportunity. His first goal came in a 5-on-5 play, and his final goal came when the Colonials were down a man, with Daniel Mantenuto and Spencer Dorowitz and Alex Tunge contributing to the other three of Robert Morris's goals. Canisius goals came from Nick Hutchinson and David Peratino, and the Colonials then advanced to the title game.
The Colonials ran through the AHC tournament fairly easily with wins against Holy Cross and Canisius. The real competition came in the championship game when Robert Morris traveled to Rochester to face off against the second best team in the conference. Can you guess who that is, Greg?
Air Force.
Air Force it is. There we go. Air Force walked away with the 2-1 victory after the Colonial season ended rather disappointingly. After outshooting Air Force by 25-14, Colonials dropped the contest. In his last collegiate game, Ben Robillard scored the lone goal for Robert Morris off the assist by Eric Israel. Eric Baxton and Jordan Himley scored both of Air Force's goals in the first and second periods. Senior Daniel Levin said, I'm at a loss for words of how thankful I am to be able to wear this jersey for the 4 years and be a part of this.
Well, after the men's hockey team was defeated in Rochester by Air Force, two of the team's seniors moved up to the East Coast Hockey League. Captain Rob Mann signed an amateur tryout contract with the Reading Royals, the EHCL affiliate of the Philadelphia Flyers. During his time at Robert Morris, Mann played 115 games in 4 years at Robert Morris. The defenseman scored 6 goals and had 16 assists in his senior year. At Robert Morris, Mann put up 3 goals, just as many as he put up in his first 3 years in the program. The other player that moved up to the next level of play was assistant captain Daniel Levins. Levins signed a contract with the EHCL's Wheeling Nailers, the affiliate of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Daniel Levins, a forward, put the puck in the back of the net while playing for the red, white, and blue of Robert Morris. He helped with 65 assists in his first game with the Nailers. He scored his first goal. We here at Colonial Sports Center would like to wish Daniel Levins and Rob Mann the best of luck in their endeavors at the next level of play.
Now, before we move on, we're going to talk about their season a little bit. Sort of an up and down season for the Colonials, not really living up to these high expectations that a lot of people had for them. I want to ask you, how do you think their season went in terms of?
I really think their season went really well. I mean, like we said earlier, they made it to the final game. Unfortunately, they lost, but making it that championship game is a huge step, and it is a result of a great season. Yeah,
you look at these rankings here, not #1 in anything, but fairly good rankings in terms of overall play. This was a very good overall team. They had a lot of weapons. Now, I want to ask you this, individually, out of all the players on this team, who was your MVP?
Oh, I had to say Brady Ferguson.
Yeah.
Honestly, he put up a fantastic amount of goals, and he really contributed to the wins that Robert Morris had this season. So I'd really have to say Brady Ferguson. What about you, Rashad?
I'm going to have to agree with you. I mean, when you lead one of the best lines in the conference, or the best line in the conference, actually, I mean, that just shows a lot because Brady Ferguson was their leader, and Rob Mann was the captain, but Brady Ferguson really helped with the offensive load. Him, Tonge, and Levins. Great line right there.
Absolutely.
Was that the best line in all of college hockey, maybe?
There was a very good chance that it might have been, actually.
I mean, they had the top 3 scorers in the conference, all playing together. I mean, it was a fantastic thing to watch as they moved on so far into this tournament.
Absolutely.
As the Colonials moved on to the NCAA hockey tournament, they traveled to Madison, Wisconsin to play the Wisconsin Badgers on the road in the first round of the tournament. They hope to keep the dream alive after coming off the CHA championship game win a week earlier, defeating Syracuse 2-0. They hope to defeat the Badgers also. The Colonials returned home to begin their offseason work after being defeated by Wisconsin by a score of 7-0. 4 of the 7 goals came in the second period, one of which coming while the Badgers were on the power play late in the back half of the second period. Junior Emily Lewis scored 2 goals on the night. Sarah Nurse also tickled the twine, nice, late in the first period for the Wisconsin Badgers. Nurse finished the night with 2 assists also.
So,
had to steal the spotlight from you, Greg. I apologize.
Okay.
I'll let you get to it.
That's fine.
Moving on to their season, women's hockey team. I mean, we have Maeve Garvey in studio. Maybe she'll talk about it a little later on. But was this one of the best teams in the nation? I know they finished number 8. Should they have been top 5 or higher?
Absolutely, they were one of the best. They were in the top 10 as according to the standings and such.
Yeah.
But they were absolutely one of the best teams in the country. I mean, they won their conference. They moved on to the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, they couldn't move on further. But absolutely one of the best teams in the country.
Now, do you think with these players like Ricky Mayer and Jessica Dodds and Michaela Lowar leaving as their seniors, can this team repeat as conference champions?
They absolutely have the chance to. Looking at the roster, there's a lot of young names on the list I'd like to see, which is nice because now they have this experience in conference play and a conference championship. They can hopefully duplicate what they did this year work-wise and move on to repeat next year.
I mean, yeah, you look at this team without the seniors, you still have Brittany Howard and you still have J.C. Gebbard, 2 of the best players in the conference in terms of scoring. Brittany Howard, all-time program leader in assists, she's still going to be here for another year. J.C. Gebbard, a freshman, really shocked everyone. Really strong play from the beginning to the end, becoming one of the top scorers in the conference. Do you think that next season, J.C. Gebbard, the freshman, will overtake Howard as the best player on this team?
I don't know if she'll overtake, but I definitely feel like they'll be equals on the team, considering that they both put up such fantastic numbers.
All right. I like it. I like it. Coming up next, we'll talk about the impact Ananiki Stamalimpru left on the basketball team and the school as a whole. And later on, we'll have a special interview with Maeve Garvey. We'll be right back.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off from school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. So, the women's basketball team earned the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament as a 16 seed. They traveled to Notre Dame, Indiana to play the number 1 seeded Fighting Irish on their home turf. Let's see the highlights.
Oh, man. To run into a team like that in the first round,
absolutely.
It's got to be horrible.
It's a hurdle.
It's definitely
Let's see how they did. As we can see here, Robert Morris starts off with on the defensive side, and Notre Dame puts up 2 points early in the first quarter.
So quick.
Absolutely. And here we see Ananiki Stamalimpru shooting what she does best, in my mind, the three-pointer. Notre Dame comes back down again. They go in, put another two points up on the board. It doesn't. The Colonials are only down by 4 in the first quarter, but we're going to move on to the second one.
Yep.
Notre Dame, it looks like they can also put up threes. And in the third quarter, Sam Lupru added again with another 3-point shot.
I mean, early on, it looked like Robert Morris had a chance at coming back.
In the first quarter, they were looking really solid.
Yeah.
And here we see some more in the paint. It looks like the Fighting Irish could really work into the paint and get their points back up on the board.
Yep.
Here we see it again. They were working their way through the defense and putting points up on the board, which is what you need to do in order to win a game. Here we see them, the Colonials down 77-47. Stan Lindpru, little emotional at this point.
That hits home right there.
Absolutely. This being her senior year, they reached the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, they lost. So after the final buzzer sounded, the Colonials went into their offseason after suffering a loss to Notre Dame by a score of 79-49. Anna Nikki Stammelamprou finished the night with 19 points and 4 assists. On the other side of the court, both Mabrina Mabry and Ariki Ogabawale, I apologize if I said that wrong, put up 15 points on the night, helping to propel the Fighting Irish over the Colonials. After the game, Coach Muffet McGraw was asked about Anna Nikki Stammelamprou.
Knowing Stammelamprou's threat from beyond the three-point arc, what was your game plan to shut her down?
You know, we were really trying to stay on her. We were going to switch on some screens, and that's what gave us trouble early on. And then Smith was posting us up when we had our guards on her, so we kind of had to rethink that plan. But she's a terrific player. You know, we were really trying to key on her and keep our best defender on her as much as possible. You know, I thought the zone actually was pretty good. You know, she just missed some easy shots she probably makes normally. I don't think it was our defense that was really affecting her, but yeah, I think she's a really good player. She's a tough matchup for us.
I mean, you saw it right there, Greg. Anna Nikki had an impact far bigger than just the NEC. You see coaches from Notre Dame talking about her in such a high fashion. What do you think her impact was for the school and for the basketball program?
Well, in her 3 short years here at Robert Morris, she definitely put up points, and she became the face of Robert Morris women's basketball.
Yeah.
She led the team to a conference championship this past season and into the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, they couldn't bring it home, but she definitely was a forerunner in Robert Morris basketball, and hopefully the things we see to come.
You're looking at these stats right here. Number 2 in career points at Robert Morris, behind the famous Artemis Spinu, the greatest RMU basketball player to ever grace Robert Morris. First in 3-point field goal. She was lethal. And that's what the Notre Dame coach talked about, her lethality from behind the arc, her ability to score in bunches, averaging about 16, 17 points this season. Where do you think she ranks in terms of best RMU basketball players?
Well, as we see here, she has to be top 3, maybe even 2. I'd give her the number 2 slot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Artemis Spinu, she locked down the number 1 spot, but with that amount of threes in a season or in her career here in just 3 years, that's a fantastic number.
Definitely able to lead them to the NEC title multiple times. What a legacy she left. The Robert Morris men's lacrosse team started conference play with a road game against Sacred Heart. The Colonials have lost their last 2 prior to this contest, so a win here will help alleviate some of the pain. Could they get the win? I have some faith.
I hope so.
You have some faith? All right, I like it. Colonials and the Pioneers facing off in Sacred Heart. You see here an early goal by Robert Morris. This men's lacrosse team, I'm pretty surprised. I wasn't into lacrosse before coming here, but seeing 2 teams for this school play at such a high level, I mean, I love it. I mean, it gives me something to cheer for. We see here Robert Morris, Sacred Heart able to get it into the back of the net right past Alex Hager, fortunately. But Robert Morris on the attack. You see here, taking it back, all the way back to the net. And I like the way they're lethal on offense. They get out, they run, they can score in bunches, they score a lot of points.
I like the way that they use that wraparound there with the pass to the side of the net and ran around and blinded the goalie there.
Lacrosse is one of those sports you have to really get into, but I think Robert Morris makes it easier to get the job done for those fans. The 2-game luckily did not turn into 3 as the Colonials beat the Pioneers 12-9. Ryan Smith led the way for the Colonials with 3 total goals, while Carter Yepsen and Adrian Tarak Orban added 2. Their next game will be on March 25th when they defend home field against Mount St. Mary's.
Well, the Colonials hopped onto the bus and made their way to St. Bonaventure, New York to take on the St. Bonaventure Bonnies after coming off a 13-10 win over Liberty. They came into this game with a record of 4-4, hoping to get over the 500. When the clock hit 0, the Colonials came away with another win in the column, extending their streak to 2 in a row, also putting them over the 500 mark. RMU's Annie Sachs rounded out the night with a hat trick, scoring two goals in the first half and 1 in the second half.
I mean, we're going to talk about Annie Sachs later on in the show, but after these commercials, David Szymanski will talk with Maeve Garvey about her career here at RMU when we come back from the break.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. I'm joined by Maeve Garvey, member of the women's hockey team here. I've got to ask you, how does it feel to be a champion?
It feels pretty surreal. It was a really good experience going to the tournament and finally being able to win it after 4 years. So, yeah, it's been pretty unbelievable the last few weeks.
Yeah, and what a great season it was. When did you know that this season was going to be different, that you guys had a chance to be champions? Was there a moment?
I think postseason last year, we looked around the room and we saw who we had returning from the year before, and we knew we had a pretty special group, and then we all came back in August and we were on the same page, and we obviously started off really well and were able to keep it rolling the whole year. And so yeah, we had a lot of confidence from the beginning of the year, and we were able to carry that with us throughout the entire season.
So what do you think changed from last year's team, or you've been here for 4 seasons, even from your freshman year's team, to now, that allowed you guys to win a championship and to have such a great season as you did?
I think the biggest thing was the entire team really enjoyed being around each other, and there was really good chemistry on and off the ice, and everyone always looked forward to coming to the rink and hanging out with all the other girls, and there was always a belief that we could win no matter where we were in a game this year. We knew we had the talent and the skill to get it done, so there was never any panic between the girls.
What was able to create that chemistry? Did you guys have any team bonding activities? What was it like on trips, the meals? What created that chemistry that you guys had?
Yeah, we normally do a couple activities in preseason, whether it's camping or doing some stuff around Pittsburgh that help with the off-ice chemistry, and definitely the road trips are a really, really good time for everyone, and you spend a lot of time together, but that's what the team needs, and so yeah, we do spend a lot of time together, but when you enjoy being around each other, it's a lot of fun.
Right. And after winning the CHA championship, you guys went on to play Wisconsin, who was the top team in the country. And you guys beat a lot of top teams throughout the year. You ultimately tied with the team that won the national championship against Wisconsin. But what was the difference when you guys played Wisconsin? They were on the next level.
Yeah, they were an unbelievable team. They had a ton of skill. Unfortunately, the game didn't turn out the way we had hoped, and I think we were still able to take a lot away from that experience. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted, but hopefully there's a lot that the returners can take away from that entire experience, just playing in front of a sold-out crowd and competing against one of the top teams in the country and understanding what it takes to get to that next level. So it was a big step forward for the program, and hopefully they're able to continue that next year.
What does it take to compete against Wisconsin going forward? What would be your advice that you'd give to underclassmen right now?
I think it's just believing in the process and believing in your team and knowing that you're good enough to be there. We knew we had the skill and that we were able to compete, and we proved it through winning the CHA championship, but playing in front of a sold-out crowd like that, I think the emotions got the better of us at the beginning of the game, and we just were never able to recover. So just kind of relaxing and believing in the process and what made you so successful throughout the year, and just sticking to that in that final game.
From your 4 years, do you have a specific moment, a game, something that you'll always remember?
I have a couple moments. One would definitely be the teddy bear toss earlier this year. That was really, really cool. That was the first time the team had ever put on an event like that. And having the support of all the other athletic teams was pretty unbelievable. And then obviously winning the CHA championship, I mean, you can't really top that. That was just amazing, and to do it in my last year was really special.
Post-college, what are your plans?
I'm probably going to go home for a bit, going back to Canada to work, spend some time at home, and then me and my roommate are actually traveling to Australia and New Zealand for a few months. So make some money and then hopefully go out and see a part of the world that haven't been able to travel to before. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been great having you on, and congratulations on winning a CHA championship and your 4 years here with the Colonials. And when we come back, we'll have more from Rashad.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Colonial Sports Center. This week, we're going to be starting a new segment called Star of the Week, where we look across all the RMU sports for the best performers in the first 7 days. Our inaugural winner for this award will be Annie Sachs of the RMU women's lacrosse team. In their 2 games last week, Sachs recorded a hat trick in both contests while adding an assist in each game. Her high performance goes beyond last week's outings. She now ranks 4th in the NEC with 2.62 goals per game and 2nd in points per game with 4. Offense isn't the only thing she excels in, however. Sachs chipped in a draw control, a caused turnover, and collects a few ground balls on Saturday. She truly is the all-around player any team could hope for.
Senior forward Daniel Levins is my star of the week. Even though he moved up to the ECHL with the Wheeling Nailers to get one step closer to the goal of any hockey player, the National Hockey League. He finished his career at Robert Morris with a loss to Air Force, yet in his first appearance with the Nailers, he scored his first goal, contributing to their 4-1 win over the Idaho Steelheads. But in his time in a Colonial jersey, he managed to put up many goals in his time here.
I mean, both of these players just fantastic. Levens, of course, leaving us sadly to go pursue a professional career. Already scored.
Absolutely,
his
yes.
goal.
1 game, 1 goal. That's a fantastic accomplishment for anybody.
RMU producing future talents. I want to talk about Andy Sachs for a little bit. I had mentioned earlier that lacrosse, I never watched lacrosse before this, but seeing a star like Andy Sachs and seeing Alex Hager and seeing all these players on both the men's and women's lacrosse team makes me want to go to the games. It makes me want to watch them more and become an actual fan. And I think that's one of the good things about RMU sports is that we have so many good teams. We have both hockey teams, we have our women's basketball team, we have lacrosse teams, we have hockey, we have all of it.
Absolutely.
And I just love watching it. It makes me feel good as a student, as a fan, and as a fan of sports overall. I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I agree with you completely. Having players on a team such as Daniel Evans and Rob Mann, sadly they're gone next year's season, but in their 4 years here, they produced an insane amount of support for the program. They put up numbers together, and they were captain and assistant captain this past season. So seeing a program develop 2 players that go into the next level of the ECHL is a fantastic thing to see out of Robert Morris University.
Definitely. You love seeing products from RMU going pro and even just slightly lower than that. But Greg, we have some time before the show is over. Who was your favorite player from all of RMU sports?
Oh,
I don't know if you were prepared for this, but I'm
when you
throwing
say
you on the
all,
spot.
what do you mean by all? Like
I'm talking lacrosse, soccer, basketball, all of it.
All right.
Favorite player from any sport.
I gotta say, Rob Mann's one of my favorite guys for the hockey team. He's a big guy. He's a defenseman. He plays great defense. For women's basketball, and Nikki Stanley-Lamprou. I mean, it's my first season here, or my first year here as a student.
Same.
So it's kind of hard to look back and see what they've done before. But seeing what they produced this season, it's a fantastic thing, and it kind of made me proud to go to Robert Morris. What about you, Rashad? Who's your favorites?
I'm honestly going to have to say Deshaun Burke of the men's basketball team. I mean, the basketball team didn't finish where they wanted to, of course, finishing 13 and 18. But I think it's good to see a future for this team. You still have Isaiah, who we all hope can fix his shooting percentage, shooting around 33% for the year. Deshaun Burke was a freshman, started the season off on the bench, and when he got time, he made complete use of it. He was the spark off the bench until about halfway through the season when they started him, and I mean, he just continued that play. He didn't let the success get to him. Granted, it's college success, but I mean, you can take what you get, right? I mean, that's why he's here at Robert Morris, to play basketball, and he's doing just that. And going back to Daniel Evans, he joined the Wheeling Nailers with also former RMU player Cody Wido, who's now the leading scorer on that team. How proud are you of Robert Morris to have 2 great former collegiate players on a professional team?
It's absolutely, I'm very proud of Robert Morris, especially Derek Schooley. He's coached here for both of them. So Derek Schooley, apparently he's a great coach. He's producing great players. One being the leading scorer for the Nailers, like you said a couple seconds ago. And Daniel Levens going in his first game for the Nailers and scoring a goal, helping them win over the Idaho Steelheads. So being a student here, it really makes me proud of Robert Morris and the organization that they set up for the hockey teams.
Oh, definitely. We're going to have to cut that short. We're going to go look at the upcoming schedule for RMU sports. Starting off with Saturday, the women's track team, don't talk about them a lot here, got invited to the Freddie Hardy Invitational. That is an all-day event. We also have rowing, the women's rowing team going for the Murphy Cup.
That should be exciting. Rowing's a different sport. It's definitely interesting to watch.
Haven't gotten into rowing yet. I'll definitely have to get into it now.
Absolutely.
Another all-day event. Men's golf traveling to the Towson Spring Invitational back in Maryland. That's where I'm from. Love it. Men's golf, also an all-day event. Softball versus Siena, starting early morning, 10 a.m.
Oh, my goodness.
You going to get out to that game, Greg?
I wouldn't get out to that game. Maybe the noon game. I usually don't get up until noon. So, I mean, softball is the kind of a sport that I like to watch.
New game versus
noon
UMBC.
Game, absolutely.
Another school from Maryland, hometown loving. Sunday, softball versus Siena, another 10 a.m. game. We already discussed. Well, you can't make it out to that one. But the 2 p.m. against UMBC, you going to show support?
Absolutely. if I can get out to that game and watch them play, I mean, I was a baseball guy in high school, so softball is the closest I'm going to get to watching here a lot more, so I could absolutely see myself being at that game.
I also played baseball. How long did you play baseball for?
Oh, probably at least since I was 9.
9?
So 10
What's
years.
that, 10 years? Yeah, I played for about 4. Played Little League, went to All-Star games, all that good
Absolutely.
stuff. But that is all the time we have for the show. Greg, thank you so much. I have to shake your hand. Thank you so much for filling in for Ian this week.
I hope I kind of filled his shoes. I know it wasn't perfect, but I hope I was there.
You filled them, but that's all the time we have for this week. We'll see you next time.